Hey, Cool Gray. Today I'm walking you through my method for perfect hard-boiled eggs and how I use them to make my delicious egg salad. I recorded this video while we were preparing for the arrival of Hurricane Irma, so I'm just adding a voiceover to it for you with all of the instructions. For this recipe, you'll only need a few simple ingredients. They are a dozen large eggs, 3/4 to 1 cup of mayonnaise, 3 tablespoons of mustard. I prefer Nance's sharp and creamy. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but you can use Dijon as a substitute. 1 stalk of celery, chopped finely, and salt and pepper to taste. There are a couple things right at the start to note. When boiling eggs, if you cook them for too long or at a very high temperature, there's a chemical reaction that can occur between the sulfur in the whites and the iron in the yolks. When this happens, you'll notice either a greenish gray ring around the outer edge of the yolk or the entire yolk can become discolored. That may be the way Dr. Seuss likes them with his ham, or not. But for an attractive egg salad, we're going to avoid this by keeping the eggs refrigerated until just before we immerse them in the boiling water and then transferring them to an ice bath as soon as they're fully cooked. I have a wonderful Farberware pot that came with a fitted steamer basket that's perfect for this process. You can gently immerse your eggs with a slotted spoon or any other suitable tool you have on hand, but remember that timing is critical, so you'll want to get the eggs into the water as close to simultaneously as possible for uniform cooking. For 1 dozen eggs, 11 minutes should be just the right amount of time. I typically make 1.5 dozen eggs, and I found that I need an additional minute for those yolks to cook through fully, so I've got a 12-minute timer here. While the eggs are boiling, prepare a large bowl with crushed ice and cold water, leaving enough room for those eggs. Then, when your timer goes off, transfer the eggs into the ice bath and let them sit for at least 15 minutes. 30 minutes is better. At this point, you can refrigerate your eggs and make the egg salad later, or you can begin peeling them right away. I find they peel easier before refrigeration, so that's what I'm doing here. My favorite method for peeling eggs is to tap them on a hard surface all over, and then start at the broad end of the egg where there's usually a little bit of air to help you get started. The key here is to make sure the membrane is attached to the shell and not to the egg. I use the side of my thumb and a rolling motion to coax the shell off. You'll want to avoid using your fingernails or pressing too hard into the egg so that they won't break. Then, give the eggs a quick rinse to be sure you've removed all the shell fragments. You can use your favorite method for breaking up the eggs for your salad. I prefer to use this egg slicer. It's convenient and it makes lovely uniform slices. Here you can see how great those yolks look. There may be a very small area of slightly darker yellow at the very center, which is fine, but there's no green ring at all. When I add my dressing ingredients, I'll chop these eggs up further, but this method allows me to leave nice large pieces of white in my salad, while the dressing combines more fully with the yolks for a creamy consistency. Now I'm ready to add my celery, which has been chopped finely. You want a little crunch and a pop of flavor to complement those creamy eggs. As I've said before in my chicken salad recipe video, you can mix up the dressing in a separate bowl and then add it to the eggs, but I prefer to just put it all in one bowl. I'm adding mayonnaise now, and you'll want to use enough to make sure your yolks aren't dry in the finished salad, but not so much that the salad is soupy. Next is my favorite ingredient and the thing that makes this egg salad so delicious. If you can't find Nance's sharp and creamy mustard in your grocery store, it's well worth special ordering if you make a lot of egg salad or deviled eggs. You can use Dijon mustard there as a substitute, but I'm telling you, this stuff is amazing. I'm adding enough for a nice sharp flavor punch. Salt is important for this recipe. I'm adding a little more than ½ a teaspoon here, and a few grinds of fresh black pepper will complete the picture. Now, mix, 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 and as you go, chop the eggs into the dressing until you can see all the yolk is well incorporated and the whites are a size that's appealing to you. Uncoated yolk will give your egg salad a dry, crumbly texture, which is not pleasant, so keep going until your salad is nice and creamy. I recommend refrigerating your egg salad for at least an hour before serving. It tastes best super cold. Serve it as a scoop on a bed of lettuce or on a toasted English muffin. If you have other ways you'd like to deliver the deliciousness to your tummy, let me know in the comments. Also, please let me know if you tried this method for hard-boiling eggs, or if you make the recipe and what your results were. I'd be thrilled if you'd like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and why not check out some of my other recipe videos. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.